Yeah. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. Okay, so business cards, getting them collected. What's good, everybody? Let's get into it. It's been a very interesting day. Mentioned this. We had an event recap um, for the Small Business Expo right here in Chicago, which was earlier today. And this week has been filled with events. Okay, there's been, and I'm just trying to remember, I think there's been like 15 events. Um, some shared, some not shared in the newsletter, but all discussed, all brought up, all talked about at some point with a newsletter or a post, something like that. The point is that it's been a long day. Now, originally this was going to be just a short live, just going over some of the Q&A questions, some Quora, as mentioned. Always, if you have a question, I still go to my Quora spaces and answer. And the last live we did, or it was exclusive on Patreon, if you're not on the Patreon, this is going to both groups, right? This is going to Patreon, this is going to YouTube. Reason why we get to in 1 second, one of those reasons is aligning because of the events, and I'm just trying to share what I got from some of those events. But also, because we have had so many questions come into Core and stay there, and open to you guys still dropping them in there, that it's, you can't just abandon it, because it's the people who have asked questions before, people who are using old links. I have them backlinks on old blogs, because I started that I was about to say right before the pandemic. I actually started that about, I think I started that like 2 years before the pandemic, where I was doing Q&As, but I was like, where can I go do it? A very easy place was Quora, and I've discovered Quora through working with blogs and Medium and stuff like that. So all in all, I want to make sure I get to those questions. If we have live questions, if we have questions that have come in through Tally, which we do have a few, we have Tally, a Tally form. Now Tally is this awesome form builder, just like a type form, but I prefer Tally. We're going to do a product review of that one day because there's so many different forms out there now, and now it's time. We're going to talk about capturing data. Capturing data is so essential, and there's so many easy ways to do it. But your boy needed his go-go juice. I haven't tried this one, Tropical Storm, before. This is a new one. Not a new flavor, but it's a new one for me. I haven't tried this one, so I'll let y'all know how it tastes. I like them super cold, but this is not very cold. So, like I said, got my go-go juice. I'm going to answer these questions, talk a little bit about the event. Got that crack. I love it. And then from there, we got a couple big updates to talk about. So, mentioned this. I want to get the event stuff taken care of first. Mentioned how there were so many events this year. I mean, this week. A lot of events this year, but this week alone. Reason why? More businesses are getting into businesses, at least with the network market. I should say network marketing. It's not network marketing. Building out networking events for marketing opportunities, as well as helping small businesses just understand the many different opportunities out there. They're understanding you can't take the third and the fourth quarter off, which a lot of businesses for years used to do. They would take the third and the fourth quarter off, right? So you see events kind of fall off when you get to October. But now we see events going all into, hell, even early November, because that's actually a time when a lot of small business owners, especially, they need that push, they need the help. But we have more people who are startups, who are small business owners, who, man, they truly do need that assistance. An essential part of that assistance is getting out there, actually hearing from small business owners, hearing from, other resources that they have out there that probably they would know about if it wasn't for these events. One of them was Just Creative. Now, Just Creative did their Brand Builder Summit. Now Just Creative, they've done this before. This is nothing new for them. Little sploogey. It's nothing new for them. They've done this before. But, excusez-moi. But the thing I liked about this event, if you guys hear, it's a lot of traffic. It's a busy day in Chicago. Um, the thing about this event, the freebies, the discounts, because the only time, and this is a big thing, the only time I mention an event in, oh man, I got on my shirt too. The only time I mention an event in the newsletter or I share with other people is and not to say it's the same thing I would produce or something I would put on. What it comes down to is it's an event that I would attend, even if I wasn't sharing it with other people, because it's not just one, it's multiple takeaways from it, and not just a takeaway like, oh, I give you a discount on my book, or I give you a discount on this presentation, or free consultation. Not to say those are bad things, just to say that that's not the freebie I'm looking for. The freebie I'm talking about, or at least the takeaways I'm talking about, because they may not be free, they may be discounts, like in this case. This is what you learned by attending. This is what you grasp. This is what you can understand. This is what you can take away, right? Here's how you can apply it and implement it. Sound familiar? That's the podcast. That's the purpose of the Ambition Show. That was the podcast. That's literally the concept. Is that it's not just a guy or a girl or whomever. It doesn't matter. 15 people, 10 people, one person, doesn't matter. To give you all this great advice and stuff. Well, that's great. I need something I can use. Because if I don't have something I can use by the end of that episode, gonna be fair with y'all. There are a lot of business, and this is not just business podcasts, but business podcasts, I would love to do a study. I would love to do research and understand this. I think business podcasts potentially suffer from this the most. The only ones that don't is probably like news and breaking news and current events, just because those are so based on what's happening that day or at that time. How many people actually go back and listen to episodes? And I say that because basically what they're sharing is, oh, great, talked about it, that was a topic, that was information, and I didn't go back to it. Excuse me. Which, if you think about it, especially from a YouTube standpoint, that's actually pretty bad. Because that's basically saying if you don't get your first 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100,000 views a day or two after upload, you may never get to that number because it's not evergreen enough to where people have to go back and reference it, or people just want to go back and look at it because there's something they can take away from it. So when I share events or I'm attending events, it's the same thing. It's something I can take away to say, you know what, that wasn't a one-time thing and I would never go to I would never go to that event again, or I'll never have to reference that information again. It worked at that time, I applied it once, and I'm out the door. It's more so, let me take something away. So, and just to get back to Just Creative, which is a fantastic event. I mean, the presentation, and a lot of that was proprietary stuff, so I didn't record it. Not going to share a lot of that. I'm going to share, of course, some stuff from the other events, but the content that was being shared, but I will share like the list of the freebies and stuff like that. That's in the newsletter coming up on Monday, so that was awesome. And I think if you didn't use that link that I sent out in the last newsletter, check it out, subscribe. I'm not an affiliate or anything of them. I brought this up before. I should be, though. Just because of the wealth of information. That's the kind of thing I would be a proud affiliate of, and that's the kind of stuff you want to be a part of, things that you would be proud to say and share out there, whether you're getting paid or not, because you see the benefit of it. Although, let me look it up. Where is yesterday was Medium Day, and for those who don't know about Medium Day, you missing out. I'm gonna share a couple things from Medium Day because that they've had this every year. For those who don't know, they've had it every year, and it is by far one of the most beneficial events for I was gonna say for a writer, but for creative in general, but of course for a writer. But especially for a blogger of any kind. and let me share this one with you first. This is going to be one of the best ones. If you are new to Medium, if you have never, written on Medium, and you're just finding out about it. Oh, let me shift my share a little bit here. Okay. If you're new to Medium, let me tell you something. This year, like I said, they've done. I believe this is the third or fourth year they've done this. It doesn't say here. This was in the registration. This was on Friday. If you are new to Medium, and I'm going to give you more of a breakdown in a second, but this was probably the best year to attend this thing. Now, normally what they do is they do really good in depth of saying, hey, this is the Medium platform, publications, these are some of the writers, and they will have the writers hold workshops, the writers hold breakout sessions, they do great stuff. But the real cool part about this one was that you really got to understand why Medium is such a good platform for a writer of any level. And best yet, if you were new to Medium, this was perfect for you. This was by far the best year for this event. If you were trying to figure out, okay, how can Medium work for me? Boom. If you're trying to figure out what is Medium, boom. If you're trying to figure out, I'm a writer and writing online, how to find my voice, how to get my message out there, how to connect with an audience, boom, boom, boom. This was it. Oh my God, this right here, this right here, that was that ish. And I'm telling you right now, some of the stuff, because they didn't share like a lot of big updates that are coming up, but the stuff that they do have kind of put into place, get your voice out there. You've got X, you've got Substack, you've got Facebook, yes, you've got Instagram, right? And I'm serious right now. From a marketing standpoint, SEO standpoint, you want it in text. As I always say, remember this: people don't read, computers do. Okay? I'm gonna say that one more again. People don't read, but computers do. Okay? You need your words out there where they can be pulled, where they can be reviewed, where they can be. Now, don't get me wrong, there's aspects, of course, behind a paywall here too, but this is an opportunity to get paid as a writer as well. And I know people are gonna go back and forth. They're gonna be like, there's some, well, they don't like necessarily the payouts that they're getting from Medium. Dude, let me tell you something real quick. I don't have the average right in front of me, but if you, and this is, I brought this up before. Hold on a second. I've brought this up before. For those who were in the live on Patreon a couple days ago, you know what I'm talking about. What I said, how people, you have the internet right in front of you. So they would rather give you an arbitrary, or just a random number. They would rather give you a number, or not a number at all. Like, I don't know, some BS. As opposed to doing a quick Google, Perplexity, whatever. Time people spend. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. People. What the heck? Misspell people, y'all. Alright, let's see. Per day, the average time people spend. Now, this is I got a couple conflicting numbers, so I'm going to average it out. But the average time, averaging, of course, all the people polled and surveyed. We know how that goes. The people spend on the top social media platforms combined. I got to average that out. Hold on a second. Do some math. Average time comes in. Because this is the stuff. If you can't take the time to do this, write some words down. Whew, that's rough. That's rough. Okay, so I combined it from the top platforms. It's the top platform, so that's including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Wow. The average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media. Now, of course, that's not in one span, right? Or one, in one session. That's you 10 minutes on Facebook, 20 minutes on this, 30 minutes on that, 5 minutes on it, blah, 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 and it comes together. That could be you looking up recipes. That could be you messaging family. That could be you social selling. That could be you commenting. That could be you doing business. Don't get me wrong. But of all of the, and this is universal. This are not universal. This is global. Okay, so this is looking at Middle East, Latin America, Africa, Europe, North America. It's everywhere. So it's not one country. It's not one platform. Like I said, that's why I actually think that's why the number's a little higher. But that's scary. But this is my point. If you can do that, that's average. If you don't come in me here, I spend 30 minutes. I only watch your show, which you should. I only watch your podcast, which you should. I only watch, one or two other people, which it's okay, but you should watch me first. And it's like, subscribe, and share, do all those good things, and then look at them. But you can't spend 30 minutes writing an article, sharing your thoughts, potentially making money. This goes back to my point about when people say, well, they're not going to make any money off of, or they don't enjoy the payouts from some of these platforms. Yeah, but you'd rather spend your time not making any kind of money or any chance of making money on Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, X. And I have a couple projects coming out where we're talking about how the way the world has changed when it comes to work. The side hustle is about to be the norm. If it's not yet, it definitely needs to be. If you don't have a side hustle to pay, just to live, not to take a vacation, not to survive, to have a savings, but also just to live, because the cost of living is going up and livable wages are going down. That's a fact. That's around the world. So, this was a really cool event where you could see, hey, there's an opportunity to connect with an audience. Now, there's other platforms, but I'm on both. I'm on Medium and Substack. And I'll be honest with you. I know this might sound crazy. I know there's some people out there, hey, if you don't agree, cool. Based on the way the platforms work, I think Substack has a better upside. I will say that. Like, the potential for Substack to go leaps and bounds beyond Medium is easily right there. It's not there yet, but it's right there. But as of right now, if you would ask me, which one would I completely drop and completely say, okay, this I'm going to focus. If I had to choose between the two, I would actually pick Medium over Substack. I would pick Medium over Substack if I had to pick right now, strictly just one to go with. Right now, I would pick Medium over Substack. I think Substack has the brighter upside. And if Medium is going to technically compete with Substack, they need to add some better elements. Because one of the biggest elements, and I'm going to call this out right now, is the ability to work with other writers and authors. It's very easy on Substack. Medium, it's a little clunky. People have built their workarounds in, but it's very clunky. Very clunky. So, I'm going to have my stats ready. Hold on. I thought about that. I'm like, let me get these stats ready. Let me start getting stats ready because I know what's going to happen. We're going to get into it. And I'm going to have. So that's what we're about to do right here. Let's get them ready. Because I don't have Tony Reality yet. I can't afford him. So I got to have, for those who don't know, that Stat Boy from back in the day. From around the horn. You don't even know. Y'all, you don't even know. If you don't know about Stat Boy, you don't even know. All right. Got him ready. So yeah, Medium Day was awesome. If you're a new author, fantastic day to get it going. I'm gonna have a full breakdown, detailed breakdown of not every single workshop, because that would be to be real with y'all. I think actually if I wouldn't even be doing the workshops much justice, if I did every workshop, because I didn't go into every workshop. I'm gonna give a breakdown of workshops I went into and the breakout sessions that I went into. So I hope that's cool because I know that, of course, not every, not not every show. Let's see, or session. I said show, but not every session is going to be covered. And there were some sessions that were awesome. There was one session. I'll give you a little insight. So this author, she showed her sample for work. Amazing. And I brought this up in the event recap, which is over only on the it's right here on YouTube. I was about to say only on Patreon, but I put it on YouTube too for those who couldn't make it because we did the live thing. We also wrote live, but I really wanted to. I didn't want to take up that time, just writing. I wanted to showcase what was happening in the event. There we go. I'll pop it up in there. All right, so that's gonna be in the description for y'all. But it was about how Anthony Bourdain captivated audiences and brought in readers by the way he described his, well, not even described food, but the way he would write about food. And I asked her a question in that session, and I figured I knew the answer, but I just wanted to get an idea because, that's what I was like, the principles you're bringing to this, somebody can do that, can write about anything. She's like, yeah, that could be about travel, that could be about food, that could be about clothes. It was what he was doing. He took that deep dive, and the deep dive he would take, and that unique view he would take. It wasn't surface level stuff. It wasn't stuff you would just find on the Wikipedia page, and she specifically called that out. And you know what? I'm being real with you. I know other authors got upset about that, and other writers got upset about that because that's what a lot of people do. I hate to say it, but they do surface level. That's why there's a channel I love on YouTube, which it's a whole concept, but there's one channel specifically that does the icebergs very well, and they'll do that surface level stuff and get that stuff out of the way, and they'll go into a deep dive. You're like, dude, I don't even know where to find this, and they only do a video like every 2 months and they're a writer. The person who has this channel on YouTube is a writer, and that's how they write their work. They're like, that's why I can write about any topic. He did a really cool live session. He said that's why I can write about a lot of different topics and get some very loyal followers because I take that deeper dive that no one else will go into. And let's be real, he doesn't have 1 billion followers, but he's got a couple of 100,000 subscribers. Not followers, just subscribers. He's got a Patreon, very healthy Patreon, and that's what this writer was talking about. Her name was Brown. Oh my God, I can't remember her first name. I was about to say Denise, but it wasn't Denise Brown. It was Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown. I remember because I was like, it was Brown, but I was like, it wasn't like, it was different. So it was fantastic. Actually, I'm gonna put a link to her publication in there too, because I loved the drop she had. Not the freebie she gave away. She gave a couple freebies, but those are hers to give away and everything like that. All right, so that was the medium day. Now, the Chicago Small Biz Expo. Well, this is not. I'm going to take that back and somebody mentioned this, and I did a recap of the event, but I should have talked about that. Somebody called it the Chicago Small Business Expo, but it wasn't the Chicago Small Business Expo. It was the Chicago Small Biz Expo, and there's a reason why that is very important and distinctive as a separation. The Small Biz Expo is it's a traveling, kind of like a trade show. I've gone a few years. Actually, I've been going a lot, but I've been gone a few years. But this right here, this is actually something they've been doing for a couple years, and I brought this up in the full event recap, and the full event recap is in the newsletter. Monday is going to come out, and once again, it's very similar to Medium Day. It's going to be a full breakdown, but more detailed about the workshops and whatnot. Well, and I bring up why I didn't go to workshops, but they had a lot of stuff going on. And what they do is they've been doing this for the past few years. They will go to the different city colleges of Chicago. Chicago has a very well-connected network of city colleges. And the cool part about that is think it's a smart move to align how to help entrepreneurs, small and current small business owners, right? So aspiring, prospective, potential entrepreneurs, however you want to look at that. Maybe people who have a side hustle and they want to transition it, or those who are looking to invest potentially and connect them with the city college network and the city college system with trends and work that or professions that are in demand. This Small Business Expo, I went to the one at Malcolm X College. The last few years that they've had it, I don't think they did it this year the same way though. I really don't, because I only heard about one of the school. But the other years that they've had this, they've had it where they've gone to different college. They've gone to all the colleges. So there's in Chicago, Illinois, there's Daley, Wilbur Wright, Harry Truman, Malcolm X. I always forget one. Kennedy King, and of course Harold Washington. I say of course because Harold Washington is one of the most famous mayors in the history of the United States, but of course in the history of Chicago, especially, particularly, his first African American mayor of the city. And they've done it where they've gone to every location, everyone, because those are the city colleges. Once again, Daley, Richard Daley, Harold Washington, Harry Truman, Wilbur Wright, Kennedy King, Malcolm X colleges. And they'll have everything here, as you can see here. I mean, normally it's a heavy focus on lending and investing. And not necessarily focus, but they have a good section of it. Like, let's say not 4, actually 10. This one had 4 from what I saw. But normally it's like about 10 to 12 people who help you with lending, small business loans, investing. I've seen before with not private equity, but like more like a VC type of incubator. This, not so many. I think I saw 4 vendors and exhibitors who focus strictly on that. Okay, cool. Not as many as before, but that's all good. What I loved about this one, I brought it up before, and I'm gonna keep bringing it up. I loved how there were. Chicago is a city of neighborhoods and communities, right? And I'm telling you, there was a booth for almost every single one of the larger neighborhoods. Not every single one of them, because I think we have 77 neighborhoods or community areas, if you will. Some of the biggest ones, like where I grew up, Bronzeville was there, Albany Park was there, Pilsen, Logan Square, Bucktown Wicker Park, Lincoln Park, big communities, big areas of Lawndale, West Side. And it was really good to see that. It was beautiful to see that, because what I loved and really enjoyed was I saw people who weren't from those areas and communities speaking to representatives from the business associations, the chambers of commerce, the developmental centers who are based there. Great event. So this was really cool. This was a really good one. There's one little thing I didn't like about what happened. I brought that up in the other video. So if you want to check out the recap, it's around here somewhere. Check out that recap. All right, let's get into this. So those are event recaps, the full breakdown event recaps, and also links to the opportunities I found. That will be in the newsletter this coming Monday. Links to subscribe. If you're on LinkedIn, got you. Subscribe to it on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, you're on Substack. Subscribe to it. Substack. Either one, you're good to go. The Substack one, as I always bring up, Substack has a lot more to it, because Substack is just, there's more I can do there as a writer. I can do there as a newsletter author. So you have better landing pages. You have a few other things. LinkedIn is just a newsletter, so you can use the links. You can, of course, if we do wind up connecting on LinkedIn, that'd be great. If not, understandable, it's all good, but information is there for you. But we have some major updates that are coming up from Microsoft, YouTube, the the YouTube update. Mm-hmm. Some of this stuff is going to impact you right away, as I brought it up before, in a past conversation. Some of this stuff is going to impact you literally within 3 months. Some of it's going to impact like 90 days, and some of it's going to impact you 9 years, like over time. But it's going to impact you. But right now, what we're doing, because you know what we do right here. As I tell people all the time, this is nice, but I keep it a bean, I keep it a buck, and I keep it real. What I do. This is what I do. I design, I build, I make. This is fun. I like this stuff, connecting with people and everything. But some people, that's their work. This is the work right here, the designing. So right now, what we're working on is a couple of freebies, a couple of giveaways, a couple of things. Now, for those of you who are going to watch on Patreon, you're going to see me build something like this out. You've already probably seen me build this one, right? There's another side to this. There's the this feed right here. We're going to actually do the instructions. This is a rubric or a grader for a upcoming episode of the podcast. We're going to give this away for free. But if you subscribe to Patreon, you can see me build that thing out. And because there's two more pieces to it. So the episode will be all about working remote and finding the right platforms to help you do that. So, like I said, check it out. Patreon, giddy up. And you'll see me build it out. All right. But let's get into these questions. So, we have a couple of questions. Just like I said, there's a lot of questions right here on Quora. I've been sitting here. I am not going to forget about these questions. I cannot do that. That's not fair to these people. So let's jump right into it. We've got these two. I'm going to come back to these for a reason. I've already looked at a few of these. I'm going to come back to these for a reason. Kind of group them together. But we got Chris Stewart. So, Chris Stewart, what did my man here say? In fact, let's do it. Because I know I've gotten that before. Aaron, can you make the screen a little larger? I want to see the question too. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. If that was you, I'm sorry. And I don't mean to be bogus. What could be the reason I am unable to join Facebook groups when I tap the join button? Nothing happens. I have a new account and I've joined few groups yesterday, and then suddenly I couldn't join any other. How can I fix this? Okay, now I know what you're probably saying. Aaron, do you work for Facebook? No. Aaron, have you ever worked for Facebook? No. I've actually had 2 contractors who used to work for Facebook. That's a whole other thing. Interesting horror stories for anybody who wants to know. DM me. And I'm not being bogus. I'm not. It's just they were horror stories, if you ask me. But anywho, what Chris is going through here, and how can this impact you? It was just so weird. But Facebook has gone through a lot of changes. Okay. A lot. I'm going to say it again. A lot of changes. To where, even though it doesn't always feel this way, and even look this way, they're trying to take security a little bit more seriously. So if you're joining groups at an, and I know this is going to sound stupid, but an abnormal rate. But here's the thing. You're not necessarily being accepted right away, and you're not posting right away. You're not revealing your identity. So another person, some people might, you know how some groups say introduce yourself and everything? You skip that. Facebook can't. Keep in mind, it's a machine, right? Facebook's going to look at that like, we're going to give it a moment before you can join anything, before you can start posting. So I would suggest this. And I'll be real. I think my boy Chris here, I'm assuming. I'm sorry, I shouldn't assume that. But I'm thinking Chris here is joining those groups because of marketing, because these are marketing questions. Take 10 groups. Wait. Join one. Get accepted to where you can post and do all that good stuff. Pending approvals passed. Post, but more importantly, connect, comment, share, comment, reach out, tag, do those things, and then post. Get a week A solid week of doing that in one group to build out relationships, but also to check engagement. Once that's done, join another one or two groups and do the same thing, but focus on engagement before you focus on posting, and you should get around this problem. All right. I answered this one before. I know I answered this one before. Naveed, my website is getting impressions but not enough clicks. What's the best strategy you've used to improve CTR? Oh, well, if you're getting impressions but not clicks, so for those who don't know, okay, so impressions means it's seen a lot or it's being seen a lot. But I'm trying to think of a better way to explain that for those who don't know. So impressions is that you're getting views. But it's interesting, he said his website is getting impressions but not clicks, right? So they're getting to the website somehow. And typically this means you've done some pretty good keyword work. You maybe have run an ad that was really good with good content. So people are getting to the website, but people aren't clicking on the website. You know what that usually stems from? You got them there, and I'm not trying to blame, I'm not trying to say Naveed did this, but this is usually what happens. You got them there for the wrong reason, or you gave them a false impression, for lack of a better term. You gave them a false impression. Because they're like, I clicked on it, I'm ready to get to the website, and they get there and they're like, this isn't what I clicked here for. This is not what this is what I was looking for. They click on, this is what they have. This is what happens. They see the ad, they click on the ad, and they goes, this isn't where I park my car. How did I get here? Why am I here? I don't care about being here. I need to get the heck out of here. That's what they're thinking. That's exactly what they're thinking. That's why they're not clicking on anything after that. They're done. They are. They're literally done. And that can happen, I'll be honest with you, that can happen with good keywords. But this is usually a sign of an ad. So you made them think something that's going to happen as soon as they click on that ad, and they get there and they're like, no. I would look at your landing page first. Does your landing page take the person to a deeper dive and a deeper level than that ad? So over here a little bit. Okay. Because the ad is typically, once again, I'm assuming the ad is surface level. It's the first level. Boop. Website, right? When they get there, that should take them deeper to where they want to now click on something. But if you give them, say they do, you already covered this in the ad, I'm done. I need another level to give you my email address or give you my name or pay you. So I will look at your landing page and make sure that content aligns with what's in your ad. Naveed. Mehdi, what's the most effective way to get your first 100 customers for an online business? That's so random. Why? Because that could be, it depends on the business. But what I will say is that what could work for any business is three things. Number one, you actually provide value. Value that the customer sees in what you do, not you. Don't you say what I make and what I do is valuable. Of course, what you think you do and make is valuable. But do I think that as a customer? That's the value. So that's number one, value. Number two, quality. This gets missed. It has to be quality. You can't just say what I do is valuable and they say yes, what you do is valuable, because then that destroys the value if they're like, yeah, but it breaks. I can't share it. It doesn't have the longevity I was hoping for. Whatever it may be, the quality. Third, because this is where the customer is going to come in. I mean, the customer is literally coming to you and generating more sales. Am I so happy that I'm willing to tell other people and share it? Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get a review. It doesn't mean you're going to get a survey. It doesn't mean you're going to get a recommendation written down. What it means is, man, you you know where I had a really good experience? You know where I bought this really nice shirt from? Boom. They tell you the store. You know how fast that product came, and it's still quality. I watched it so many times. It's not shrinking up on me. It's still, it feels good after a number of washes. I can feel the quality. I get compliments on it. It was on that website. Is it what you doing? Is it noteworthy? Is it shareable? Value, quality, advocacy. That'll get you 100 sales real quick. How can businesses expand from local to global e-commerce? Ooh. I like this one. Okay. I like this one. Okay, now keep in mind, I know what somebody's thinking. Well, e-commerce is automatically global. No, it's not. Well, automatically being online, technically, yes. Because once again, that's technically. Because remember, some websites you can't access in other countries. Keep that in mind. I'm trying not to go too far with, but the first thing is it actually make it real easy for us. It goes right here what I just said with Mehdi. Okay. You have to present value. Well, does anyone else value and need that product in this other country or other countries or continent? So for example, if you target, and I'll give you what you might think is a really small niche, but it's actually very prominent, very powerful, and it's global. I've got two others, but I'm gonna focus on this one first. Skiing. So people ski in Colorado, people ski in Utah, people ski in Canada, people ski in France, people ski in Switzerland. People also ski in Norway. People ski in Japan. People ski all over the world. Connect value, quality, recommendation. Well, a skier, recreationally, maybe it's a recreational skier. They're not, in other words, they're not like pro level. They're not going out there every day, not spending a ton of money, but they're recreation to where they care about the quality of the product. They may be a part of groups, online, community. What are the values that a person who skis, who's from Norway, would have? Switzerland, France, Japan, Colorado, and Utah. Let's take it to another sport. Sports is actually a lot easier to do this with, of course. Keep that in mind. But I'm going to take it to food in a second. But let's go on another sport. And of course, I could easily say, well, football, soccer, right? No, I got a better one for you. Be fair with you guys. It's a sport I dislike. Just don't care for it. Not my cup of tea. But a lot of people around the world love it. Baseball. Dominican Republic, Panama, Japan, South Korea, the Netherlands, Canada, America, Mexico. Baseball's all over the place. Same thing. Same thing. Now I'm going to give you food. Food is a little special, right? Because remember, you can't necessarily ship everything everywhere, right? You can't send food all over the place, right? You have to be very careful and cautious, especially in this, not just with export, imports, and tariffs and whatnot, but just from the other regulations, what countries will and won't allow. But let's say you have finished product. In other words, it's packaged, it's good to go, it's RTD, also called, RTD, ready to drink, ready to eat, RTE, ready to eat. It's out of the package, it's processed. Well, who's the target audience? Is it fitness people? So maybe it's protein bars. The values can still connect. But how are they going to connect? As I mentioned, here's a big one. With those regulations, maybe the regulations isn't a regulation necessarily just from a governmental standpoint. It's more of a religious standpoint and a spiritual standpoint, right? So maybe you have to supply only kosher foods, or vegan, or vegetarian, or halal. Those types of things. See, when you know your target audience and your target market, it's easy to go from this local aspect to a global aspect. That's very simple. Are those values the same? And now, where are those values the same? Now, this is where a business plan really helps in this case. And as always, I'm always going to recommend SCORE mentors for business plans to help you with business planning and connections and mentorship. But your business plan can be right now, first year, second year, third year, I'm here, local, dominating, all this. But in that second year, I'm researching where can we go globally. In that third year, I have not necessarily branched out to where I'm selling, but maybe in that third year, I'm now making the connections with vendors, with opportunities, because your e-commerce doesn't necessarily mean you don't have brick and mortar, and it doesn't mean that you don't work with brick and mortar. It just means that your primary vehicle is to be online and to share. But that third year, now I'm thinking vendors, partnerships, collaborations. And you know what I'm going to do? Fourth, fifth year, I've already got that set up. So fourth and fifth year, we're launching. Fourth year may be beta. Fifth year may be launch. That's why a business plan helps. Beautiful question. Beautiful question. But that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, like to where you don't have to think that just because you've done a really good SWOT analysis and target audience, analysis, that you're stuck in one spot. Even if you have a big market like New York City, keep in mind, just because your target audience is in New York doesn't mean all of New York is your audience, right? Okay. Yeah, dude, I'm not giving you no free backlinks. Keep it pushing, player. What is the best place for a business website? Tara, go, Kevin. What is the best place for a business website? I'm assuming you mean like a host. If you're talking about like a host, I don't know. I can't really get. Depends on the business. But I'll give a quick rundown. If it's a WordPress website, I'm a fan of Bluehost, Ionis, Hostinger. I said Hostinger. Hostinger. I think that's a hockey player. I think it's one of. I think he was a hockey player. Yeah, Hostinger, Ionis, Bluehost, and of course GoDaddy. I'm trying to think if there's another one when it comes to WordPress. Those are probably my main ones. Yeah. And of course, if you're going outside of WordPress and you're picking a web builder, of course, Wix. Shopify's right there. Honestly, that's what I was trying to say. I'm like, because you have business, but I'm assuming you're gonna make something really custom. But I don't see why you wouldn't go to Shopify first. Yeah, I'll look at it like this. So if it's not WordPress, go to Shopify. Because if it's an online business, it's going to be e-commerce. That's what Shopify is completely designed for. I've talked about that numerous times. Shopify is designed to be e-commerce. Wix is good, don't get me wrong. But Shopify is designed for e-commerce. That's what they do. I don't see, the only other option, if you're going to something specific for e-commerce, Shopify, WooCommerce. But WooCommerce is, of course, for those who don't know, WooCommerce is WordPress. So, it's a plugin. You can have a WordPress site. Do B2B clients check your About Us page? Ooh-hoo-hoo. Good question. Philip Gallagher. Make sure you put in if you guys put in a fake name, that's cool. Whatever your call sign, whatever it is, Maverick, Iceman, whatever you want to call yourself today. I hope you like playing beach volleyball. For those who did not get that joke, you need to watch more movies. That's just a fact. Do something outside of, making a business. Go watch a movie. Top Gun Maverick. But this is perfect because Philip, I want to call you out for this one. This is great. Yes, they do. And I'll be real frank with you. This actually could, this can lose you a client very easily. So, a bad about us page, and I don't want to. I was gonna say I got one in mind. One, I took a screenshot. I might share it in like a post though. A bad about us page can lose you easily because this is your opportunity to boast. You're supposed to be egotistical here. Like, perfect example. When we say on social media, hey, don't sell hard sell on social media, right? Don't hard sell on social media. Telling people, oh, this is what I do. This is why I do. This is why I'm great. This is why you should work. They're right. That's what it should be. This is what I do. Certifications, 1,000 clients happy, all 5-star reviews. My mama says I'm the best person that walks the earth. Listen, I'm keeping a bean with y'all. Your About Us page on your website is your time to shine. Boast. Get egotistical. Tell people about why you are what you are, why you are the one that you need to be, the one that they need to work with. None of that made sense, but you know what I meant. That is the opportunity. That page is, you tell everything. It's like a glorified, beautiful resume, but it's a website. Man, if you want a page where people need to be scrolling, I don't know why some people are like, oh, I just want one sentence to tell the world who I am. Man, this ain't LinkedIn. Get it cracking. Talk. Strut your stuff. It's your website, right? This is your website. You're trying to get $1 million out these people, and you're not gonna tell them about all the awards you won. You're not gonna tell them about, you got the highest GPA in college. You're not gonna tell them about you your mom's favorite child out of 15 children. You're not gonna tell them. I would. I do. Yes, clients, check your About Us page, and I don't want to be bogus, but I am gonna share some examples. And I'm going to share an example of my own original About Us page, and it was crap. It was horrible. But let me tell you right now, I fixed that quick. Okay, we got quite a few others up, and I did want us to get to creating some pieces, so I'm going to do probably 3 more, and that's it. It's that fight right here. What meta ads will be the best for a website development company? I think it was last week's. Yes, it was last week's newsletter. Y'all, I'm getting a little echo. Hopefully, you guys not getting that echo. Meta is really trying to team up and connect with better generative AI. Maybe that's where the echo's coming from. Let's see, because we're doing a simulcast here. So let's see. I didn't have a volume on there for the feedback, but let's see. So they're gonna have way better generative AI if you're having challenges coming up with visuals. But kind of what I just talked about, the About Us page, but a little bit less heavy on the selling, more on the connection. What have you developed? Tell me what you developed. Oh, I'm sorry. Have your clients tell me what you developed for them. That's the best. Because somebody, I think that wasn't in court. That was on Reddit. That was a Reddit question where someone asked about should they start a software development company? Like, because they're like, there's so many out there, with AI being emergent, and everybody kept saying, hey, it's really about knowing your target audience. It's kind of the same thing. Well, here, if you're just starting a website, meaning hopefully you have had a few clients. Hey guys, can you do a quick video or audio where you talk about what I did for you? That's the ad. That's the ad. And if you're having challenges with visuals, if you're having challenges with maybe you can't share some proprietary things that you built for them, the generative tools are there. Of course you can use stock and everything too, but I would go for, can I get audio? Can I get video of that client? Oh my God, that would be awesome. But this is the perfect timing for that question because Meta's about to. I will give this. Meta is at least investing in their advertising tools. I wonder why. I don't care for all their other stuff, if you ask me, but that's just me. Remember, I said horror stories. Horror stories. Join the Patreon. I might share one. Anyway. I'm sorry, but they had the feeling of, what's his name? Snoop from the Source Awards. No, that wasn't Snoop. That was Suge Knight who said that. Join Defra. Get on the Patreon. I'll share with you. All right. What are the most effective strategies for growing a local business online in 2025? You know what? For anybody who says, man, 2025 is almost over, 2025 is almost done, this question is so outdated or something like that, I guarantee you someone's thinking that. The reason why I bring that up is because a lot of times people feel like once we get past, it's kind of like New Year's resolutions. People feel like, oh, well, we're no longer in February, so I need to stop. If I didn't, no. I'm about to hit you with some real motivational, personal coach development type of stuff. It's going to probably sound a little cliche. If it does, I'm sorry, but it's true. Every day is a new. Oh my God, I'm about to laugh at myself saying this, but every day is a new opportunity. This is a great question. I'm going to say it again. Every day is a new opportunity. And here's the question again. What are the most effective strategies for growing a local business online this year in 2025? First, let's make sure we clarify something. Do not confuse a plan with a strategy. Your strategy can have a bunch of plans, but you have one strategy. The plan is how it's executed, the activities, the timeline. The plan is really, yes, I'm a project manager, right, by trade typically. We think in the world of planning, right? Project plans, project charter. But there's a reason for that, because that holds us accountable, right? Like that old statement goes, what gets measured gets managed. So in other words, if we're saying, hey, we have to have this many deliverables by this time, I am going to measure. I'm going to manage it to ensure I reach that T-minus date, whatever that T-minus date is. T-minus basically being, hey, we got 90 days to execute this. T-minus 90, 75, 60, so on and so forth. So strategies for 2025, 2026, whatever the year is, your strategy should be, I'll be honest with you, your strategy, I would hope your strategy is a little bit more than 1 year. Your strategy should really be that 5 years, really. And then your plans are 6 months to a year within each, within that strategy overall. My overall strategy, right, goes to my goal. And you have one major goal, and you have these little goals that builds up to it, right? Starts the foundation. Start from the bottom, builds up. Like I said with the business plan. In 5 years, I want to be in this other country. In 5 years, I want to be in that other country. In 5 years, I want to be in another continent. The first year, get everything solidified, come up with processes, work out the kinks, if you will. Second year, I'm going to really build out the team, fortify things, get stronger, but start making connections, start doing research on what those other countries should be and what that other continent should be for my e-commerce business. I'm connecting the dots. Okay. The third year, the plans are in place to build relationships within those targeted countries and continents for my e-commerce business to grow globally. The fourth year, I launch a beta test. And I have a plan designed for that beta test. And then the fifth year, we've executed fully. and activated in another country. So the plans for 2025, let's say your strategy is just for 2025, but the plans, get the most out of this last quarter. And whatever that is, get the most out of this last quarter. So that could be, focusing on a holiday sale. That could be launching. I don't know why people think it's a bad idea to complete. Depends upon the business, of course. But there's nothing wrong with launching and starting a business at the end of the year too. Don't wait to the beginning of next year. New Year's resolution. Why always gonna be that New Year's? Why isn't the New Year's resolution? This is gonna be our first quarter ending in the black and being profitable. Why is it gotta be? We have to launch January 1st. Why can't it be? We're celebrating 6 months in business in March. That means we started October. Why not? Sometimes the most effective thing could be to start during the holiday. Now, don't get me wrong, it might skew your numbers a little bit when you start going back and measuring and looking at what worked and what didn't, because holiday shoppers, holiday season. But then also that should tell you something too. When you're saying, hey, wait a minute, is that why maybe we had the most challenges? But maybe that was the most effective, because maybe you're transitioning that side hustle into a full-time business, and that's when you have the most time off of work. Instead of taking that vacation, you started a business. Just saying. And you notice why I said that side hustle to a full-time business. I didn't say you quit your job. No. Maybe you started hiring people during the holiday season, because that's a major hiring and firing time of year. Mostly hiring, but a lot of people fired. Hey, hate to say it, it's happened to me. Twice. That's why I tell people all the time, I hate December. Hey, I'm gonna keep it a bean, y'all. It's happened to us a lot. It happens to a lot of us. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you failed. That just means that didn't work out. And that also means that wasn't meant for you. Keep that in mind. So, most effective strategies for growing a local business in 2025. Once again, strategy should be a little bit bigger. Let's focus on a plan. Make a plan to end the year strong. That's the most effective. How can I end this year strong? More clients, additional sales. Better yet, once again, don't wait for the New Year resolution. Maybe you acquire a certification. Maybe you acquire a degree. Maybe you acquire a new employee. Maybe you inquire. Maybe you acquire another business, new location. You started the website. End the year strong going into the next year. I'll tell you right now, that was one of the best things I changed in my mindset. It's a mindset, yes, but also in just what I wanted to focus on work to achieving. When I stopped worrying about the beginning of the new year. The first time I said, you know what, I'm going to focus on, because I think it wasn't September. I think it was October by that point. I said, how can I salvage? And that's how I looked at it at first. How can I salvage the year? And I said, I want to, because it was kind of twofold, which I think also I made it a little tougher for myself, because I put in kind of like two goals, which really was, being honest with you, kind of wasn't a very good move. I achieved both of them, but it was very stressful, and that's why I didn't think it was a good move. It was unnecessary stress. But I wanted to acquire at least one more new client, and I mean not a website. I wanted to do SEO, blog writing, graphic design. We got an SEO client, but like I said, I gave myself two stupid goals. I said I want to get a new regular SEO client, which did, but I made it really stressful with what I was focused on. I wanted to launch the podcast and trying to get interviews, recording, editing. Taking in an editing program. The first time I took a full actual formal training in editing, audio editing, not video editing just yet, and that's what made it really stressful, And thankfully, that's when I discovered Podbean too. So, but when I started doing it that way and looking at it, I want to end the year strong. Everything changed, and literally every year has improved since then. So, That's a good one. That's a really good. That's actually a really great question to end it on. We're gonna get to creating. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create three things. I'm gonna create a freebie for an episode of the podcast, not the remote work one that you guys checked out a moment ago. It's a new freebie. We're also gonna do some thumbnails. Oh yeah, we'll do some thumbnails. So I'm gonna vibe out to some thumbnails. You know what I'm saying? Vibe out. I haven't done thumbnails in a while. Like really a lot of them. So we're gonna focus on a trendy thumbnail though. And of course, link to to drop a question, fill out the form, ask a question. It's in the description. So that will be for another episode though. We're gonna finish that one there. Now let's see. Trendy thumbnails. Yes. Boom, right here. So I want to show you guys some of these thumbnails we're going to work on. Boop. Yeah, here we go. All right. Can we expand these a little bit? Yeah, we're going to expand these a little bit. Okay. These are all very trendy styled thumbnails. Okay. And as we work on them, we're going to talk through them a little bit. So this is actually a lot of people were using this and they stopped and now they're redoing it. This is probably going to be the easiest, of course. But what we're going to walk through is through the typography. Well, not so much the typography. I'm not going to go through typography. I'm sorry. I'm not. That takes a lot longer. For those who, that was something that was funny. That came up in Medium Day, actually. One of the designers, he was like, I love typography. And I want to say out of 6 designers, he was like, oh yeah, they were asking like what's your favorite design stuff. He's like, oh yeah, I love I love typography and I love designing fonts. And all the other designers were like, okay, not I. That was funny. So we're not gonna get into all that. We're just gonna make this thing. Now when I say we're gonna design it, we're not gonna make this exact same one because this was actually a trendy one. In other words, this was one of the ones that caught people's attention, caught people's eyes. So what we're gonna do is something similar, right? Recreate it. Here's another one. It's really bad. Another one, really bad. But we're gonna do these over on our Medium. This is the other freebie that we already made. This was actually, I said Medium, I mean Patreon. This is actually already made. This was in a Patreon episode made. This is a freebie that we're gonna make. That we're going to make available for free download from an episode of the podcast. So let's get into that. So thank you for joining for the Q&A. For those of you on the YouTube live, I really appreciate you checking it out. I really appreciate you jumping in. What we do is our Q&A every Saturday for questions from Quora, questions from the tally form that we have on our Substack. If we have a lot of questions, I try to get through as many as possible. I'm going to clean those out that were up there because I don't want to keep going back to the same ones. Because like I said, I know I saw 2 of those before. I'll come back to those. But I didn't want to take up all that time just going over those questions. There's still probably like 20 questions there. But we will save most of those for our next live for both Patreon and YouTube. But for those of us who are about to join, or for those of you who are about to join me over on Patreon for this creative session, we could do a real-time Q&A as well, where you guys can ask your questions. We can jump in those too as I work on this stuff. Gonna have the music going, gonna be chilling, gonna be kicking it over there. But as I always say, if you have a question, I'll stop for a second, or if you have a question about what I'm working on, because I also get questions that are not about what I'm working on. That's what I mean. It's cool. But if I do have a question about what I'm working on, I'll answer that question right there. So with that, y'all, appreciate you for kicking it with me. Drop your questions in that form. The link is in the description, so we can start chatting about it on our next live session in the simulcast. And then also check out this upcoming edition of the newsletter. Subscribe to the newsletter, Substack, LinkedIn, whichever is easier for you. So you can get the full recaps of both of the events that I attended in person, and then of course the events that were all online. And of course, we got the updates from Microsoft, got the updates from YouTube, we've got updates from Google, we've got updates about a few other tools. Kiddo had a few updates. Um, I didn't hear anything from Canva. Canva had a bunch of updates last year at the end of the year, and they also had a bunch of updates at the beginning of this year. So I doubt they're going to have anything, but we shall see. But hey, whatever comes my way, I will be sure to share with you to help you on your entrepreneurial endeavors, your small business goals. We're going to get it. We're going to be all right. We're going to get it together. So, best to you and yours. Peace. I'll see you around. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell. Yay. For everybody in Patreon, they're like, what? Okay. Peace out, y'all. Let's get to making some thumbnails.